Hello, happy Monday morning, everybody. It is Taylor and Jake, and we are here to discuss last week's second week of Dancing with the Stars. We had our first elimination at the end of the show, plus the 15 celebrities danced once again, and for the first time, America voted, so we will get to that eventually. First off, what do you think of the show, Jake? I really enjoyed it. It was a great second week. I thought we either had people either do most of the people, we'll get to that, but a lot did a lot better than their first performance. A lot of people were very consistent, did the same that they did the first week with last week. We had a lot of people start to show their contender status. I thought it was a really strong show.
I absolutely agree, Taylor. I think a lot of people showed improvement from the first performance to now, and I can actually see some front runners that are in it to win it. So, great show.
Yeah. No. Anyway, moving on. So let's go ahead and start the first performance tonight. We had Neve Schulman, Schulman's Austin Powers chest, and his partner Jenna doing a cha-cha. I thought it was a great way to start off the night. Neve's footwork was amazing. Even better than the first week. Derek called it a solid performance and said he needed to watch his shoulders. Bruno loved the showmanship and presentation. Carrie Ann called him an incredible dancer, loves how he uses his hands. So that he got all sevens from the judges, got a total of 21 out of 30. For 2 weeks of scores, 41 out of 60. Thought very well deserved.
I enjoyed it. His first performance was great. This performance was great. I feel like he could potentially be a front runner to win this.
Yeah.
He's a really good dancer.
Mm-hmm. My only fear is because he is from MTV. Not many of the older viewers watching know what catfish is.
Yeah.
So in order for him to actually go deep into the competition, he'll need a lot of the younger people to call in and vote or text or whatever, go online and vote, because I don't think that he could win unless he has that support. And that really worries me about him. But other than that, I really hope he does well in the competition.
You do have a point there.
Moving on, up next we had Sky, Disney star Sky Jackson and her partner Alan. They did a samba. It was kind of a boring routine, not their best routine, and the judges really agreed. They went a few steps back from last week. Bruno said the routine went wrong. Carrie Ann said she needed to work on her arms, and Derek said that a setback sets you up for a comeback. They got a total of 15 out of 30, one of the lowest scores in the night. But for 2 weeks, their score was 36 out of 60. It was really disappointing.
I mean, it wasn't as good as their first performance. I thought their first performance was better, but I definitely believe that they can make a comeback. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too. And tonight they perform again, and we'll see if that week was just a fluke or if really there are some issues coming up that'll lead to her demise. But I really hope that she does really well in the competition. Up next, we had figure skater Johnny Weir, along with his partner Britt. Not a very exciting routine. I thought it was just okay. And the fact that Johnny should be one of the front runners in the competition, and the fact that he has had two not so good routines in a row, it really worries me about him going deep into competition, because when they first announced the cast, a lot of people thought he was going to go really far or possibly win the whole thing, but it was not very good. Carrie Ann thought he got into the dance, but his footwork was odd. Derek said to watch his frame. Bruno said he needs to be more staccato. He got a total of 18 out of 30 for 2 weeks. That's a score of 36 out of 60. What gives? Why? What's going on with Johnny?
I don't know, Taylor. I wish I knew, because when the cast was first announced, he was one of the people that I was like, okay, he is going to do so well in this. But I mean, honestly, these first two dances haven't been good for him, but maybe he'll finally deliver tonight. We'll see.
Yeah, I really hope he does because he was one of my picks to go far when the cast was first announced. But anyway, up next we had actress Justina Machado with her partner Sasha. They did a very good foxtrot. Derek calls her a natural, beautiful dancer. I couldn't agree anymore. She is one of my favorites in this entire thing. Bruno said she makes him happy and that she dances from the heart. Told her to watch her turns. Carrie Ann said she moved beautifully. She ended up getting a 21 out of 30, total score of 42 out of 60 for 2 weeks. She's one that is really, really, really surprising me. And I think that she could win this whole thing just because she has so much personality. She's had 2 great dances in a row. I think that she could win.
I have a feeling she could win too. Like, she is delivering. First performance was great. This performance was great, and they definitely deserved one of the top scores of the night. She is delivering, and I am so excited to see what she does next.
Mm-hmm. And moving on, we had Monica Aldama with her partner Val. Monica, of course, is appears on the Netflix show Cheer. They did a jive, not a great routine. She looked like a little stiff to me. Bruno said that her cheerleading quality helped her on it, but said it wasn't all the way there. Carrie Ann said she liked seeing her more relaxed. Derek called it fun, but needed more jive. She ended up getting one of the lowest scores. She got 16 out of 50, 35 out of 60 for 2 weeks. Not really one of my favorites in the competition. I mean, she could go far, but not right now. She's not really exciting me.
Well, I have to say, I think she's boring. Both of these dances were not like good at her first 2 dances were not good at all. Last week wasn't good. This wasn't good. Is there a potential for a turnaround? Maybe. I don't think so though. I don't think she's gonna go far.
No. Yeah, I don't think she will either. Anyway, up next we had AJ McLean from the Backstreet Boys and his partner Cheryl. They did a foxtrot. Very fun, elegant foxtrot. I think he did have a few slip-ups in the middle, though. Carrie Ann said he delivered. Derek said that he was a showman, but there was a slip-up, which I just mentioned. Bruno said he loves the energy, but he needs to control it. Carrie Ann gave him a 7. Derek and Bruno both gave him a 6. That's a total of 19 out of 30, 37 out of 60 for 2 weeks. He's somebody that I think could improve throughout the competition. I could see him in the finale. I don't know if he'll win or not, but he could slowly improve and go farther, and I really hope he does because I really, really, really like him.
I think there's definitely room for him to improve too. I like the energy he brings, though. I hope that he sticks around for a while and goes far because I enjoy watching him dance.
Moving on, we have Anne Heche, actress Anne Heche, and her partner Keo. They did a foxtrot. I thought it was a little better than last week. Derek said she needed to watch her legs, but he enjoyed it. Bruno said that he felt the connection. He loved the content. Carrie Ann said that she's giving it 100%, but said she was tense, which I can totally see. She got a total of 18 out of 30, which is 35 out of 60 for 2 weeks. Talking about, we're really sort of predicting blind when it comes to who's going this week because we're not really seeing the dances. And they're, instead of in the past where they would vote differently, now they're voting live every week. We really don't know how she'll do, but I think that she could be in trouble this week just because she's not one of the best in the competition. I mean, she could improve, but she's not one of the best, and also I don't think she has a very strong fan base, especially considering the Ellen drama, if anybody did remember that. I personally don't think she'll go very far, but we'll have to see.
I don't think she's going to go very far either, but I will say her dance this week was much better than last week. Um, I don't know. I don't know if she can improve or not, but I will give her credit for the dancing this
Oh
week.
yeah,
This
definitely.
routine was better than last week's.
Up next is one of my favorite casting choices this season. Rapper Nelly, with his partner Daniela, they did a cha cha. I didn't think it was a very good routine. I thought Nelly was a mess. I didn't like it as much as I liked last week's routine. Bruno said his timing was good and he had fantastic musicality, but he said he needed to articulate more through the foot. Carrie Ann said she can tell he's a hard worker, but he needs to work on his turns. And Derek said the timing was great and appreciated the concept. So he got 18 out of 30, which for 2 weeks total 34 out of 60. I don't know how well he'll do because he hasn't had 2 great weeks in a row, but he is very entertaining. The entertainment factor could get him far, but if he wants to do well, he really has to work on the technique. And if he gets that technique down, he could do really well in the competition.
I thought his routine last week was better. I didn't particularly like this one, but I'm hoping to see a turnaround from him because I really want to see him do well.
Me too. And it's somebody that grew up listening to his music. Seeing him on the show is really, really, really cool. So up next, we had Selling Sunset star and soap star Chriselle Stoss and her partner Gleb did a rumba. I thought it was a very passionate routine. Derek thought they did a good job. Bruno was impressed and said she had beautiful lines. They got an 18 out of 30. 2 weeks in a row, she did pretty well. I mean, she's not getting the best scores. I mean, she has a lot of room for improvement. But she could do very well in this competition.
Um, this routine, or the routine she did was much better than her first one. She did do pretty well, and I hope that she continues to do well because I feel like she can continually improve and do well.
Okay. Anyway, up next, we had Charles Oakley and his partner Emma. They did a cha cha. Another not too good week for him. It wasn't terrible, but the hand movements were very wild. Derek said the foxtrot said the footwork needed work, but it was a huge improvement. Bruno said he needs to work on footwork and timing. Carrie Ann said to watch the focus. He got a total of 15 out of 30. 2 weeks, that's 27 out of 60. I didn't think it was a very good routine. And we'll talk about he was in the bottom 2, and we'll talk about what happened with that a little later on.
Yeah, definitely wasn't a good routine. Well, both routines weren't good, so unfortunately,
Yeah.
I mean, I will say I will give him credit for trying though.
Oh yeah. Up next, we have actor Jesse Metcalf with his partner Sharna. They did a really, really good foxtrot. Bruno said he needed to watch his bum, posture, and footwork. Carrie Ann said to work on the posture. Derek said he did a good job. Total of 20 out of 30. That's 38 out of 60 for 2 weeks. To me, Jesse's kind of boring. I mean, I guess he's a good dancer, but he just comes off as very boring. I don't think he'll last very much longer in the competition. A few people that knew him know him from the stuff he does may stick around and vote, but I don't think any of the bigger fan base of Dancing with the Stars will keep him around.
I do think he's a good dancer, but I do agree with you. I do find him boring, but he is a good dancer. I don't think he'll last either. I don't see him going far.
No. Up next is another contender of the season, Jeannie Mai and her partner Brandon. They did a cha-cha. Another great routine. Carrie Ann said it was great improvement, but she needed to be tamed. Derek said it was a little wild, but he loved her energy. Bruno said, well done. They got a total of 18 out of 30. I think week after week, I think she will get better. And I could see her really, really going far, possibly even winning this season.
I said this last week, I think, or I said this last time on the podcast. I'm going to say this again. I fully believe she is a front runner.
Oh, yeah.
Her first dance was great. This dance was great. I'm excited to see what she's going to dance next or how her next routine is going to go. But I have high hopes for her. I feel like she's a front runner.
Mm-hmm. And up next on the show, we had that bitch Carol Baskin and Pasha. I really had no words for the routine. I mean, I guess it was an improvement, but still not very good. Derek called it an improvement from last week and said he was impressed. Bruno said his performance was shining and there's hope. Carrie Ann called it simple. They ended up getting 16 out of 30, which is an improvement from last week. They were in the bottom two. We'll talk about what ended up happening a little later with how it went with the bottom two.
Still not very good. Last routine wasn't good. This one wasn't good. I mean, that's really all there is to say about it.
Up next was our the NFL football player Vernon Davis. They did a paso doble. It was a great routine, an improvement from last week. Bruno loved the strength, but he said he needed to work on his shaping. Derek said he started to wheel it really well. Carrie Ann loved he corrected himself in the middle, said she wanted to see bigger. He got an 18 out of 30. That's a total of 35 for 2 weeks. I am really, really getting behind Vernon. I think he could also win, but we still have a long way to go. There are a lot of front runners, but really, really, really good routine for him.
I thought he did a really great job dancing the paso doble. Like, he did really well, and I think he can definitely improve, and I think he could become a front runner to win this. Like, he's doing a very good job.
Oh, yeah. And finally, closing out the night, we had Bachelorette star Kaitlyn Bristow with Artem. They did a foxtrot. She hurt her ankle sometime during the show. But she did a really good job. Carrie Ann called it a beautiful, elegant performance. Derek called it graceful and effortless. Bruno loved the quality of the movement. Got a total of 22 out of 30. First 8 of the season, total of 42 out of 60 for 2 weeks. She's somebody that's really, really impressing me and could do very well. Another person I could see winning the competition, especially with Bachelor Nation voting. Past few seasons, the Bachelor stars, whether or not they're good dancers or not, have done really, really gone really far. But I think she could actually win this.
Yeah, it's amazing how she hurt her ankle, but yet she still flawlessly danced. I feel like she is a front runner. I think she could win. And they definitely deserved a high score for sure. I feel like she was one of the best of the night. So I fully think she's a front runner to win this.
Yeah, she did really, really well. And so let's talk about they did the same thing that they did last season with revealing the bottom two and then the judges saving one, sending the other couple home. The bottom two was Charles and Carol. In the end, Charles ended up going home, which I said either one of them would do well. I said either one of them would end up going, and it ended up being Charles. I don't know if I agree with the decision just because Carol is so terrible, but she did improve from last week. I guess I agree with the elimination, but I would have rather have seen Carol gone.
I'm not surprised I'm not surprised that they ended up in the bottom two. Do I agree with their decision? No, but I can see why they did that, I guess, because I guess she did improve a little bit
They
between
don't
this week
they don't
and
want
last week, but not by a lot. It was still terrible. I don't agree with their decision, but I see why they made that decision.
yeah. And let's go ahead and talk about this week. Like I said earlier, we don't know. We're sort of blindly guessing. I think Kara will definitely be in trouble again. And if Anne doesn't do any better, I think she could be in trouble too. I think those will be one of the two that will go tonight.
Yeah, I have a feeling Carol's gonna be in trouble again for sure. Um, I want to say, I want to say Monica might potentially be in trouble. Maybe Jesse. I'm not sure. There are a couple of people I could see potentially being in trouble this week besides Carol.
Oh yeah. But anyway, tonight, a new episode of Dancing with the Stars at 8 on ABC. It is Disney night, which is all fun night of the season. So that, of course, happens at 8, and we will be back later this week or next week for another recap of Dancing with the Stars. For Jake, I am Taylor, and we will see you next time.